everyone, welcome to STEAM for Tweens. I'm Miss Jennifer here at the Warrenton Library. Today we're going to do some gumdrop engineering. If you picked up your supplies here at the library, we gave you everything you'll need for this activity, except for a plate or tray on which to build your structure, and some books or something similar to test the strength of your structures. If you are gathering your supplies from home, you will need at least 33 gumdrops and 75 toothpicks. You might need a couple of extra gumdrops if you end up eating a few of them while you're building. Now, would you believe me if I told you we're going to build a structure that can support the weight of several hardback books out of just gumdrops and toothpicks? It's true. We are going to be constructing 3 geodesic domes. A geodesic dome is a spherical structure that uses a series of short, interconnected straight lines to approximate a spherical or rounded structure. For example, you may have seen playground equipment that looks like this. I certainly remember playing on one of these as a child. This jungle gym resembles half of a sphere, but it is constructed out of straight bars. All of these lines are straight lines that form a dome. Or you might have seen the Epcot ball, which is a geodesic sphere formed by 2 geodesic domes put together. You can see the straight lines that form the triangles that make up the structure. The geodesic dome was popularized in America by Buckminster Fuller in the 1950s. Mr. Fuller looked for ways to do more with less. The geodesic dome design encloses the largest volume of interior space with the least amount of surface area, thus saving on materials and cost. Other advantages of a geodesic dome are that they are lightweight, easy to construct out of component parts, resistant to wind and shocks, and can be built in almost any size. It is one of the most efficient designs for building because air and energy are allowed to circulate without obstruction. When engineers build structures, they want to make sure that the structure won't fall down when a force is applied to it. One of the shapes that can bear weight very well is the triangle. A triangle is more rigid than a rectangle, and when force is applied to one of the corners of a triangle, it is distributed down each side. See how sturdy it is? I'm pushing and wiggling on the sides and it's staying strong. The rectangle, however, is a wobbly, unstable shape. When you push the side, oh, it's already wiggling. It flops down into a slanted parallelogram or rhombus. So unlike a rectangle, a triangle cannot be deformed without changing the length of one of its sides or breaking one of its joints. One of the ways to make a rectangle stronger is to add a diagonal support like this for triangulation. So we have now turned this square into 2 triangles. One of the ways, Fuller found that if a spherical structure was created from triangles, it would have great strength. And you can read more about Buckminster Fuller in a biography like this, or you can read some of our various books about engineering here at the library to learn more. Right now, we are going to construct a geodesic dome. So the parts that we need are the toothpicks and the gumdrops that we talked about earlier. I'm going to turn my camera down and we're going to build one of them together. We're going to ultimately build 3 with the supplies that we gave you. Let's turn our camera down. We are going to start with 5 gumdrops and we are going to connect them with 5 toothpicks. So we're going to create a shape that I'm sure you've seen, which is a pentagon. We need one more toothpick here. And so we have a 5-sided structure. Then we are going to take 2 toothpicks and 1 gumdrop, and we are going to create a triangle on each of our sides here. Just like this. So we're starting to build up the sides of our dome. And this is when it might be nice to have a few extra gumdrops, because you might have a hard time resisting eating any of them. Now, one dome on its own could probably hold up a decent amount of weight, but we are actually going to create 3 of these with the supplies that we gave you, because that will actually increase the number of books and the amount of weight that the structure can hold. Okay, so we've created our triangles all around the side, and we're going to use toothpicks to connect each of these 5 gumdrops. So we are going to go all the way around, connecting these together. And you see that our dome is taking shape and getting taller. Just like that. So you'll see that we've created another pentagon along the top with our triangles all around the sides. Now we're going to take 5 toothpicks and stick them into the tops of these gumdrops, pointed towards the center. And we need 1 final gumdrop at the top. Now, these are great because they're nice and soft. You can probably try other gummy candy too if you have a hard time getting gumdrops. But like I said, they're nice and soft. So the best thing to do is probably leave this overnight to harden, and then it will be able to hold even more weight. We're going to create one of these 3 times over, because 3 domes can hold more weight than 1 or 2, because the weight is distributed and shared among all 3 structures. So you're going to make 3 of these and set them to the side somewhere and let them dry and harden overnight. And then we're going to test their strength. So I have 3 here on a tray that I built yesterday, and I have let them set and dry, and now we're going to test to see how many books they can support. So I have a few books right here. Oop, let me set this up, and we're gonna bring up our camera. We already have 2. There's 3. There's 4. You see my structure is still holding strong. 5. 5 is the most I've ever had it hold, but it might even hold more. Let's see. Now, I don't want them to collapse entirely, but you all can be brave at home and see how many books you can get your geodesic domes to hold up. So we had 6, and that's probably maybe 5 pounds. So that's not bad for some toothpicks and gumdrops. We hope that you try out these experiments at home, design some other structures, build them in other shapes, and see if you can get a structure that holds even more weight. But these geodesic domes are pretty strong. You can check out, like I said, some of our other engineering books and try out some other experiments and see what else you can build. And do watch out for our next month's STEAM for Tweens, which is all about deciphering ciphers and codes. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you had a good time, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.